So it's the dynamic behind it which gives the appearance, or the dynamic movement gives the appearance that there is an intention behind it.
Yes. It makes it, because there is only present awareness which isn't manifest,
right,
which doesn't do anything, it just knows everything, including itself.
Yes.
Then the way manifestation occurs is to actually demonstrate usually the opposite nature of what present awareness is.
Mm-hmm.
So the present aspect of awareness actually uses time,
yes,
to make it seem as though something's happening. And
right,
and the awareness, non-conceptual awareness, actually creates conceptual awareness, or the mind, or the thinking process, to disguise itself.
mm-hmm,
So there can be a total preoccupation with the thinking process and the whole story. So everything begins to get whipped up. So if you take it the way it works, as a human being wakes up in the morning, for the first moment there's just stillness, and then there's a re-engagement of the mind, and the mind kicks in and it starts saying, what have I got to do today? How old am I? What are my problems? How am I going to stop all these things going wrong?
mm-hmm,
And a complete identification with the story. You pull your boots on and off you go again.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But actually, all of that is the game that consciousness is playing,
Mm-hmm.
the game of disguise, where it's disguising itself, mm-hmm. pretending that it really is this person, totally hiding the fact that it is actually this still space that doesn't move anywhere or go anywhere. And even in the most turbulent state of mind, there is a knowing of that it is present awareness that knows that. So present awareness can fully know the deepest spiritual experience. So it can fully experience stillness, expansion beyond the boundaries of the body, bliss consciousness. It can know all of those subtle experiences, but it also knows what it is to experience total turbulence or total exhaustion. Mm-hmm. But it's awareness that fully knows that.
Yes. And at the same time, most of the human race, I think probably 99%, live in complete ignorance.
Mm.
And you still think that a shift can happen and people start waking up?
Yeah. Well, the idea of a shift is actually something within the story of life, that there's something wonderful that can happen, that this shift can take place to special people under special circumstances who've undergone, many years of special practices, and it's all very special. But actually the nature of it is self-realization. It's realization because it's realization of what is already the case, that there is no awakening. There is realization because, as you say, there can be total ignorance where consciousness is completely hiding itself from itself, and then it reveals itself to itself.
Mm-hmm. So I heard once the theory that if enough people wake up, that could shift the vibration on this planet.
Yes.
And gives the opportunity for
Yes.
more people to wake up. Do you believe that this is happening?
I do, actually. I think that's obviously happening within the story of life.
Of course, yes.
And the thing with self-realization is that begins to happen from the platform of total stability. Because when it's seen very clearly that the awareness that you are has never gone anywhere, it's that which has known everything.
Yeah.
So that stable, totally stationary awareness can know that drama, and it can know that unfoldment, and it loves those stories and it loves those dramas. So actually, because present awareness can't develop, it can't move from where it is, because it's that which knows everything, what it loves is the idea of dynamic activity and progress and evolution. So within the phenomena of relative life, those things are appearing. So you could say in life on Earth at the moment that there's a development of consciousness, that there's the possibility to actually see that we reside in present awareness which is totally stable and isn't actually taking part within the drama. The amazing thing about that is that it puts the whole thing in context, and it's a bit like being at the cinema where you're watching a film, you're totally identified with it, the action's taking place and it seems completely real, and then somebody comes along and kicks the back of your seat or starts eating popcorn or something. You remember actually that it's just a film. And that's what consciousness does, that it actually reveals itself as being the basis on which this whole thing is experienced. And then the enjoyment of that it just moves on to a completely different level, because that drama is seen as a drama. All the stuff that before, because identification made it seem as though, yes, I'm really here, I'm on Earth, what's going to happen? The whole financial structures are collapsing, we're running out of this, there are these tensions between all these people, there isn't enough food, everyone's suffering, and there's no solution to it, we're all heading for this big black hole.
Yes.
Actually, consciousness creates that because it's in contrast to the nature of things as they really are, which is that there is just present awareness. In terms of the story of human life, you could say that we're on a kind of down cycle at the moment, because conscious loves completely knowing itself and also completely ignoring its true nature. So the way it's playing out at the moment is it's ignoring its true nature, that it's hiding that. So there's complete identification. So this is only on the human level, because actually on the animal level, on the level of plant life, that is still totally at ease. But on the human level, the mind has predominated for a period of time. It seems as though the mind is required to resolve all of these things, but actually that's still the game of hide and seek that consciousness is playing. There is no solution for man to find, because it's consciousness that's revealing it all. Man isn't actually doing anything. The whole script is being written, and the characters are playing their parts, and there isn't anything that can be done outside that.
When I started my spiritual path about 20 years ago, I had this vision that what's going on in our universe or on our planet is nothing but a computer game of somebody outside in a more developed reality, level of reality. And we don't have a free will. They just push a button and we are moving, and there are these few who can get enlightened, and there's suffering and all that, and
that's a great description.
Somebody is playing with us.
Well, if you use the example of the film The Matrix, which was a computer-generated, the Earth was a computer-generated reality, and that the whole of that programming was to reinforce the integrity of the Matrix. The world we live in is actually a consciousness-generated reality. That consciousness is behind the whole thing, but consciousness is actually benign. That it appears as though there are all these terrible things happening, but it's experiencing that so that it can know itself by contrast. Because if you look at it from the point of view of a small child, there's no context to the experience, because up to the age of 2, there's a complete knowing of everything. So there's awareness, so, the mum comes in and gives them this, and then they see something else, and they're like little drunken old men, they're sort of falling around in total ecstasy. Or they're crying for a moment and then that instantly stops. But the whole thing is experienced without a centre. And then